Hi, Cecil Robles here with YourForexMentor.com. Welcome to the next edition of Bigger Weekly Profits. This is the video series, and today we're going to talk about the dollar CAD 4-hour chart and what I see going forward this coming week on the dollar CAD 4-hour chart. As you'll see, we're coming into the week of August 15th, and it looks like we may have a good opportunity, potential opportunity here on the dollar CAD. And let me just get you caught up to speed here on what's been happening over the last month or so on the dollar CAD. We had a nice downtrend that actually formed here on the dollar CAD, gave us nice selling opportunities along the way. And then we had a reversal right here, reversal signal turned into a buy. This actually looked to me like a good area to short, but it didn't quite happen. And we got what we call a cup with a handle formation right here. Here's the handle, here's the cup. And you can see that this actually turned into a nice buying opportunity upon the breakout of that formation, and give us some nice profits on that trade as well. And then we had a pullback, and this pullback has essentially come right down into some key fib levels for this particular up move. And what you'll see here is the way I like to draw fibs, and really the correct way to draw fibs is, you always want to go from the swing low to the swing high, and you can do that multiple times within the move. So for instance, you have another swing low here, you could draw that fib. You have another major swing low right here, and that's where we want to draw another fib at. And you'll see when I do that, when it overlays, you'll notice that this is a major fib confluence area. Now, what do I mean by confluence? Well, you have the fib from the bottom here up to the top, right at and that gives us a 382 fib right there, 38.2. And then we have, if we draw from this next major area here, which is this next major swing within this up move, we have the fib from here to here. You always want to make sure you draw to the highest point within the move, and that goes right to a 618 fib. So we have a major fib confluence area that prices pull back to, and then at the same time we have a couple of formations, candle formations. We have some reversal candles here. So one reversal candle here, one reversal candle here. This is kind of giving us a sign that we could see buying taking place based upon this pullback. Profit taking took place in this area here. We had a pullback, came right to a nice fib confluence area, and now we could see a buying potential. At the same time, we have our CCI indicator down here, which is an unbounded oscillator, and it's great for trend trading. So in this particular case, this would be what we call a trend continuation indication. And essentially, we're going with the trend, and we've had a pullback below. As we've had the pullback in price, we've had a pullback below the negative 100 area on the CCI indicator. And at the same time, we've now had price go back above that area on this candle, give us a close. And so what we're going to be looking to do is basically take a buy signal above this high right here. This is kind of like a resistance area within this move, and this would give us our buying opportunity. I always trade on breakouts, whether it's a pullback or not. I always trade on breakouts, based upon price breaking a certain area. So this would be considered a breakout, and we'd be looking for a breakout above this area somewhere. So, we've got a high here on this candle of 1.0437. So maybe we'd put our buy stop at 1.0445 or something like that. That would give us the entry for that particular trade. And our stop loss can actually go down at some different areas. We could have, if we want to be more aggressive, we could place a tighter stop, which would actually be better for our money management, because if we do win, we're going to have a better money management scenario here. Or we could place a stop below this swing low area right here. So really, it's up to you. You can be more conservative. If the trade does hit, you won't do as well on the trade, but you give yourself a little bit more flexibility and a little more room for this trade to actually turn out and go up in the direction that we want to see it go up in. Now, in terms of profit, there's a couple different ways to look at this. So, well, actually, there's a number of different ways, but this is the way that I'm going to show you right here in this particular example. I'm going to show you how you can use simple fib expansions to kind of give you an idea. Fib expansions mixed with support and resistance to kind of give you an idea of where price might go. So we're going to do basically the same thing that we did on the fib retracement, except we're going to use a fib expansion tool this time. And you can see I'm doing the same thing. I'm taking and I'm drawing from the swing low to swing high and then back to the swing low area of where we're looking to buy. And I'm actually going to shrink this down just a little bit more so that we can see the major support or the major resistance rather in this particular move. Now if I draw a line right there at that 618 level, you can see where it pulls back to. It pulls right back into this major resistance area right here. So that is resistance. This is obviously resistance. This was kind of like a double top. Price moved up and then tried to test that area again. It didn't quite make it, and so therefore that's where we had this down move come into play. And at the same time, you can see, looking back, that we have another area of resistance as well. This is actually resistance up here, support down here. Support got broken, and once support is broken, it turns into resistance again. So you can see right here, when we had price move back up to that area, what happened? Well, this support turned into resistance, and that held, and then we had a nice down move here. And we're finding the same exact thing right here. If I draw a line across from the high of this move to there, what happened? This is resistance up here. This was support. That support got broken through. What happens? That support now becomes resistance. We find the same thing right here. And now we're looking also right here. So these are some key things to look at on the charts when you're looking at making trades. So let me put my fib expansion back on there. So once again, I wanted you to see where this 618 fib expansion came to was right up to this resistance area. Now we're going to do the same exact thing that we did with the fib retracement on the fib expansion. We're going to take and we're going to draw from this major swing low area. We're going to place it at the same high level, and bam, there you go. What happens? Well, we have the 100 fib expansion at the same exact level. What's that? That's a confluence level. So the 618 fib expansion of that move is right here at the very high of this last move, and then the 100 level is at this resistance point. So that's going to give us a pretty good target area for this move. If we get a breakout here, we place our stop down there, we've got about 105 pip stop. And if we get a price move up to this area of the 100 and 618 expansion area, then we're looking at about 150 pip price move. So what do we have? We have about a 1.5 to 1 reward to risk ratio. Not the best reward to risk ratio that we like to see, but it's better than a 1 to 1, and it definitely is a trade that we can take. Personally, you can take this trade on a 1% basis is what I would suggest, no more than a 1% basis. If it wins and it goes up to the profit target, you'll have made 1.5%, and if you lose, obviously you lose 1%. So you have to take the trade at your own risk, but I'm giving you my analysis of the market and what I see the potential to happen here, and it very well likely could be that way. If not, then we could definitely see price move back down this way. Obviously, not quite sure how far, but this looks like the best scenario for us. And the most high probability trade is a buy trade for sure, based upon the evidence that we have here. So that is my analysis for the dollar CAD this week, and we're going to cut it short there. And if I find anything else for you throughout the week, I'll let you know. But let's see how this trade turns out. All right, well, have a great week. Wish you a lot of pips, and let me know how it turns out if you take this trade. All right, talk to you later.